Allison Marks toiled away in the local library, leading a modest existence in a small town, far removed from the clamor and commotion of bustling cities. With neither children nor a husband, she seemed utterly alone, unlikely to provoke any interest. Yet, even within her unassuming life, moments of mystery and enigma abounded. Her childhood was shadowed by the mysterious disappearance of her parents, who vanished without a trace when she was but a mere child, too young to remember their faces. Since then, she had lived with her grandfather, endeavoring to unearth answers to the questions that plagued her, but the years rolled on, and everything seemed to fade into obscurity. When Allison received a letter from a distant relative regarding an inheritance of a house in the countryside, she surmised that it might hold the key to unlocking her past. Perhaps in this secluded locale, she would finally discover the answers she had sought her entire life. In her heart, she felt that this journey would be more than just an inheritance. It would be a voyage to her very essence, to the place where the keys to her past and future lay hidden. The letter held nothing remarkable within its contents, but upon learning that it pertained to an inheritance of a house, curiosity got the better of her. The house she inherited lay in a remote village, concealed within the depths of the forest. Upon arrival, Allison discovered that the house appeared unwelcoming and grim, as if its walls harbored ancient secrets and sinister mysteries. Despite the warnings of the local inhabitants, Allison resolved to spend the night in the house, intent on unraveling its past. Through the darkness and silence, she sensed an eerie energy permeating the air, as if the house itself breathed, possessing its own life and will. The door creaked slowly as Allison Marks entered the hall of the house. The air was thick with the musty smell of dust and the locked-away secrets of centuries past. Step by step, she traversed the hall, feeling the gaze of dark eyes from the ancient portraits adorning the walls above.
"What manner of place is this?"
she uttered aloud, but only the echo of her own voice reverberated in the emptiness. As the night progressed, Allison began to hear strange sounds and see shadows drifting through the rooms. Her sanity began to waver as she felt the presence of something unholy, stalking her in every corner of the house. In the darkness, she heard whispers, ghostly voices murmuring incomprehensible words.
"Why did I come here?"
She pondered, feeling doubt for the first time.
"Who goes there?"
She cried into the darkness, but her voice faltered in the face of the sound of creaking footsteps drawing near. Allison, immersed in this nightmare, understood that she was not alone. The souls of the previous inhabitants of this house had found no rest and now sought retribution. She encountered ghosts of the past, their faces contorted with fear and bitterness, cursing the place where they spent their final days. With each passing hour, Allison felt the house's influence upon her intensify. She became a witness to nightmares that devoured her mind, and eventually realized that the house sought to make her part of its wicked legacy. Reaching the attic, Allison surveyed her surroundings. Dusty items and old boxes were scattered everywhere. In the center stood an old trunk, covered in layers of cobwebs. Allison approached it and lifted the lid. Inside, she found old records and books, bound in dark fabrics and yellowed paper. Her hands trembled as she began to flip through the pages, reading descriptions of horrifying events that occurred in this house.
"This cannot be true,"
she whispered to herself, but her heart knew otherwise. Mysterious disappearances, strange deaths, horrific visions, all were part of the chilling legacy of this place. She peered into the records, feeling each word seize her mind. In her ears echoed quiet whispers, as if the souls of the past yearned to tell her their story. Allison closed her eyes, trying to banish the dark thoughts, but they were already too close. As the night drew to a close, Allison realized that the house wanted something from her. It thirsted for her fear, her doubt, her life. She must resist this evil, or it would consume her into its dark depths, just like all who had ever crossed its threshold. The accursed house was saturated with a sinister atmosphere, as if every fiber of its being was infused with the evil that pursued all who dared disturb its peace. The old walls murmured dark secrets, beckoning their victims into their embrace, to swallow them whole. Among the records was a note written by her parents, detailing their secret project involving the study of mystical phenomena and curses. They traveled the world, investigating ancient artifacts and enigmatic locations in search of the truth of the unknown. In their records, they mentioned a dangerous experiment they conducted in one of the abandoned dungeons in Europe. The experiment unexpectedly spiraled out of control, and Allison's parents fell prey to the power of an ancient curse, imprisoned within the walls. In the end, they confessed that their lives were in jeopardy, but they decided not to return until they found a way to break the curse and save themselves. Their final request to their daughter was to find this place and continue their work, but to be cautious and not succumb to the temptations of the dark forces that pursued them. Allison realized that her parents were heroes, battling dark forces in the name of truth and goodness. Their disappearance was a sacrifice they made to protect her from the same horror that engulfed them. Now Allison knew that her mission was far from over. She must carry on her parents' work, break the curse, and uncover the truth of what happened to them, and perhaps find a way to bring them back if they were out there, beyond time and space, still fighting for their survival. She must find a way to destroy this accursed house and free it from the souls suffering within its walls. Her strength of will and determination would be tested as she faced the very source of the evil that dwelled in this place. If you liked the story, subscribe and like to hear the next part, and many other Nightmare Chronicles.